Hi, I'm ready to trace Jessica's mouth now, and as you can see I've got it set up as I told you in the book. I've got the original photograph visible and the layer that I'm actually drawing on visible. This layer is really handy to see what the drawing itself looks like on its own, and then we can use this copy of Jessica's face to just flick off and on and see if things move drastically, which at the moment they're not doing, so that's really good. And we want the white layer switched off so we can see the layer we're working on as well as the original photograph that we're tracing. So I want this pen tool, and I'm going to zoom in on Jessica's mouth area so that I can start tracing that. Whoops, wrong way. Okay, so I've got the pen tool, and by clicking this options tab I can make sure it's in design mode, which it is, and I'm going to start at the middle of her upper lip, like her Cupid's bow place, and I'm just going to click, and I've marked a point there, so I can then go out to this side where I want the line to end, which is here, and I'll click there. I'm going to select this middle point again so that I'm drawing another line from there over to here, which is the other corner of Jessica's mouth, so I'm going to click there. Now I want to put this into edit mode so that I can grab somewhere along this path line that I've drawn and just click, and I'll drag it out like so, so that it follows along the path line of Jessica's mouth. So I can do fine adjustments by pulling out and moving around these bars, which kind of adjust, I think it's called a Bezier thing, it adjusts the tangent at various points and how far that extends, but you can use them for fine adjustments of just this dragging out principle. So I've dragged that out to where I want it from the middle. I'd say that's right, but over here I want to adjust that Bezier a little bit, and that will be certainly good enough to not look massively wrong on a cartoon tracing. So I can safely stroke that now. I'm going to go for 3 pixels with this, because I think a lady likes her mouth to look full, so 3 pixels will do, and pow. So if we click anything other than the pen tool, we get rid of those markers, and we can see what we've done. If you go to the layers and turn on the white layer, that's what that's going to look like, and we can compare with that, but obviously that's going to be a lot easier to do when we've drawn the whole mouth. So back to the pen tool, and I'm going to do the underside of Jessica's mouth now, I guess. So I want to be in design mode, and I'm going to click over at this corner, and I'll click over here. I think I'm going to leave it for this side because it does kind of weird things up around the top, so I'm just going to do that line, and I want to edit it, and I'm going to pull it out to where I want it to be, kind of centrally in her mouth, and then I'm just going to adjust using those bars. I'm just pulling them out so that they extend further, and there we go, that's made a smooth curve that we'll do for the underside of her mouth. So we're going to stroke that at 3 pixels. Click anything to make those markers go away. And now we can do the inside lines. So we need to be in design mode. And again, I'm going to start at the Cupid's bow thing here because there's 2 distinct curves from this point. I'm going to go out to here. Click the central point again so that it's going from there, and I'm going to go out to here with that curve. I want to edit them so that I can just drag this up like so, and that looks near enough to me. And I'll drag this one up as well, sort of like that. Yeah, I'd say that'll be fine. It would be messing about to call that wrong, really. So we can stroke that. I'm going to give it a thicker line because we want a shadow cast by that lip, really. So I've only made it 4 pixels, but we'll stroke it in. And now we've just got this one here to do. So the paths tool in design mode, and this point here is quite clear to start at, and we're going around. And again, I'm going to leave that here because it does go a little bit funny up towards the top of her mouth. So edit, and I'm going to drag out the central bit first, obviously, and then I'll extend. That looks perfect. This may... No, I was going to say that might need some more anchor points in it. That's absolutely fine. We'll call that really good. And we'll stroke that back at 3. Okay, so now we've got to mark the underside of her teeth. I'm going to do, and I'm going to suggest some gums as well. So I just really don't like those anchor points being on the screen, so I'm going to do that between every time I use it. So I'm going to mark teeth now in design mode. And I'm going to mark from there to there. And I'm actually just marking at the high points between the teeth. So the next one I can see is there and there. Now I'm going to mark this because there's a gap in Jessica's teeth. So that goes kind of like that. Then we're going to go up. This goes pretty much in a straight line up, so I'm going to mark up to there, and then we'll get the edit mode of the tool, and we grab the bottoms of teeth to pull down. Obviously we don't need to be too precise around this sort of bits because it's going to be very, very small on the actual finished picture. So I'd say that's going to be good enough for marking the teeth, and we can stroke that really thin at 1 pixel. We're going to stroke that. And I'm also going to mark some gums on. In design mode, mustn't forget that. And I'm just going for, not being too precise with this. It's just little bits between the teeth that jut down. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm just going to stroke it again at 1 pixel. So there we go, and we can zoom out, and by manipulating the layers we'll put up the white layer, and that's what Jessica's mouth is going to look like as we've done it at the moment. And it doesn't move massively